SCP-3545. I mentioned this one on my iceberg. This SCP is tied with another for the most complicated friggin' SCP you've ever read. But we're going to take it slow. We're going to start at the beginning. We're going to try not to get too confused, and we're going to work through this site. Now, starting at the beginning, the overview says SCP-3545 is discussing an oniritic class ontokinetic anomaly. I have no idea what that means. You have no idea what that means. That's why you're watching this video. But apparently there was some testing done, and since that testing has happened, no further testing can be done on this SCP. So let's go find out what that was. Now, the original entry for this reads like this. SCP-3545 is a glass with an unknown liquid inside it. This liquid slowly begins filling the glass, and it appears black to anyone who looks upon it. Now, after about 5 minutes, this liquid will fill to the brim of the glass. However, it is not recommended you watch this liquid fill to the top, as it causes some kind of detrimental brain damage, in a sense, for those who observe it the whole time. Now, the only way to remove said liquid from the glass is by drinking it. Once it is drank, you will become instantly aware of a sequence of 18 to 24 numbers. The significance of these numbers is not yet understood. Why numbers is not yet understood either. Moving ahead. Now, the next part of 3545 is what happened during that test. So, there's some Class D and some researchers, like always, and then some Chaos Insurgency break in. Now, if you don't know who the Chaos Insurgency are, it's not super important. The Chaos Insurgency are one of the groups that opposes the Foundation. They're aware of anomalies, all that good stuff. Anyways, Chaos Insurgency comes in, takes over the place. They start to fill the glass with liquid. Then, they take the liquid out of the glass using syringes and putting them in flasks and crap like that. Meanwhile, one of the D classes is convulsing on the ground while another one is very distressed. One of the researchers is bleeding out of his ears, and there's some other people who are going through some shit. Now, the Chaos Insurgency have this liquid, they take the glass with them, and they leave. Now, fast forward a little bit, you get an audio log between a Chaos Insurgency and a researcher. Now, this Chaos Insurgency is talking to this researcher, and the researcher's like, what do you want? You already have the glass, you have what you wanted. And he's like, no, I want to go inside. Inside where? Well, it leads us to a different SCP. Now, when he says he wants to go inside, he's talking about SCP-2719. I'm not totally sure what that SCP is. I'm assuming it's some kind of a pocket dimension. There are various reports of people going in all the way from D class to O5 members, and the most common result of the person going inside is either went inside or became inside. I don't know what that means. I would assume that became inside means they're trapped in there, but all the O5 members became inside. And if you're not familiar, the O5 members are not normal human beings. They all have some kind of anomalous ability. So they're more powerful than regular people, and yeah, so it's unlikely that the O5 would be trapped. That and they're still active. Now, another thing the Chaos Insurgency says to the researcher is, ever since we absconded with that weapon, absconded means, basically in this scenario, it means they ran away with their tail between their legs. That weapon they're talking about is SCP-001, the Ouroboros proposal. Now, the Ouroboros proposal is an extremely long and well done proposal. It's so long, the Exploring series actually made 4 or 5 videos on it, each of which is over an hour long. So, it really, to me, it feels like 3 SCPs in one, but it's all part of one SCP. I don't know how relevant it will be here, but I do recommend you go watch the Ouroboros videos that he made. They're really good. but I don't know how much it will be important here, but if it comes up later, I'll address it. Now, going on to 3545-1. This report goes as followed. Same stuff that I talked about before. The glass filling with liquid. Someone drinks the liquid, and those numbers that I mentioned before have to do with this 4-dimensional shape here. They have to do with forming this shape in a sense. Don't ask me how it works. I'm not totally sure myself. Anyways, so this shape becomes formed, and then the person who drank the liquid goes through the shape and appears outside it, and they're kind of in their own realm at this point. That's what figure B is representing there. So there was 2 tests done with this. The first test, D-Class drank the liquid. He's outside of the shape now, and he's still in contact with the Foundation, and he's driving. He's driving through Washington. Everything seems normal. Then he starts talking with somebody, and a voice starts being heard by the Foundation researchers, and they don't recognize the voice. It's unknown. And so he's laughing and and still talking, and then they can see a black humanoid figure talking with the D-Class that has no face. And then this humanoid figure begins talking about the D-Class's wife. And then at one point the humanoid figure is dancing with the D-Class's wife in a dance, studio type setting, and the D-Class is starting to get sad and depressed, and the figure asks, "Have you forgotten about your wife?" And he says no. And shortly after that, the second test that was done with the D-Class, the D-Class is female. She appears outside of the shape, and she said there's just water all around her. But she knows, I can see this research team, so she waves to them, and they say, yes, we can see you too. So she goes on ahead, she gets in some kind of vehicle, and she's moving through the water. Now, this same unknown entity appears, and it's talking with her, and it's causing her great distress. And at one point, to me, it sounds like she drowns the entity. She holds its head under the water, but then when she comes back up, she's not talking like her normal self, which leads me to believe that that entity possessed her. Anyways, a dark sphere proceeds to emerge out of a black sludge, and then all the cameras go out, and there's screaming that can be heard, and then the female D-Class is in a vegetative state for the next week or so, but when she wakes up, she has no memory of what happened. Now, I think it's pretty clear at this point that the glass with the liquid in it is actually some kind of entity trying to get out. Because once somebody drinks this liquid, it almost sends them to a pocket dimension where this entity is, and this entity possessed that D-Class and is trying to get out. Now we're shown a revised protocol from the last one. This protocol is saying the same stuff as before. There's a glass, fills with liquid. You shouldn't stare at it while it fills up for the 5 minutes. It could cause nosebleeds and other bad things to happen to you. You should not ingest it per the previous tests. If you do ingest it, those numbers that you hallucinate are coordinates for a ZK end of the world scenario. ZK means universe is done. Okay? A reality failure scenario is what that ZK is representing. And after that ZK location is discovered, there will be a sharp drop in the Hume levels before manifestation of the instance, which is presumably that entity that was in the last test. What's a Hume level? That's basically the reality levels that we're in right now. If you were next to a reality bender, the Hume levels would be, I believe it's either really low or totally whack, going up and down like crazy. Anyways, let's move ahead. Now, for the final protocol of SCP-3545, we are given a letter. Basically, I'm assuming written by a Chaos Insurgency. He's talking about, we did so many tests, we lost so many minds, every person that drank from the goblet seemingly went insane. And then you find out that they actually became temporary reality benders by drinking this liquid. Very powerful reality benders because they were capable of causing a Z-class scenario. But they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were just given this power. And so that's why those 2 tests were kind of so strange. The one with the car and the one with the water and the person drowning. That's why it was so different, because these people didn't know what they were doing with these new powers they were given. So how I understand it is this glass forms a liquid that gives a person the powers of the reality bender. This glass, my theory at this point is this glass is an artifact from a very, very powerful entity that this entity put some of its power into. It's kind of like, if you're familiar with the Harry Potter things, how Voldemort put part of his soul into the 7 Horcruxes, or however many it was. So you can kill him, you can chop off his head, end his life, but he can come back because he has his soul spread throughout these 7 Horcruxes. That's what my theory is for this SCP now. I think this glass or goblet, whatever you want to call it, is part of a very powerful entity that is a failsafe in a sense. So, in conclusion, this is SCP-3545 summed up quickly in a nutshell. It is a glass that I believe is a part of a very powerful entity. This glass fills up with liquid, which is some of the entity's power. Anyone who drinks this liquid gets some of that entity's power. The Chaos Insurgency has taken this glass and they are going to use it to make an army of their own reality benders with this entity's power, and presumably do whatever they want because they have an army of reality benders. You can't really stop them at that point. This is comparing when they were talking about the weapon that they narrowly avoided, the SCP-001 Ouroboros proposal. That proposal is very complex, and there's a lot of insanely powerful entities in that proposal. But with this glass, they're saying they could rival that, basically, in a sense, is what the goal was here from the Chaos Insurgency's point, was to rival that SCP-001 weapon. It also seems that the SCP-3545-1 instances, which are the people who've drank this liquid, don't die out. That one fell into kind of a comatose state, and it's not really clear what happened to the first one who was driving the car. But they don't, like, die because they can't handle the power. They're still alive. So they're still a big threat. Another way you could look at this SCP is this entity, if it is an entity that put part of itself inside the glass, is trying to make as many SCP-3545-1 instances as it can, and then it's going to sacrifice them or use them to come into our world. Okay. That was SCP-3545, or at least that's my interpretation of it. I stand by the theory. It's an entity. Part of its power is in the glass. And yeah, you know the rest. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think there's another interpretation for this SCP. If you think I'm totally wrong, make sure you call me out on it. Aside from that, I may be making more SCP content in the future. I haven't really decided. There's a lot of good SCP YouTubers out there. The market's kind of oversaturated at this point, I think. But I may make more in the future. Who knows? Anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that subscribe if you want to see more. And I will talk to you all later. Have a great day.